If I told you hitting $10,000 doesn't feel like a win, it feels like a trap. Would you believe me? Because that's exactly what happens. You grind, you save, you cut back on everything, and when you finally see the number, it hits different. Suddenly, money stops feeling like money. Suddenly, it's stress in your pocket. You start sweating every purchase, that $20 coffee. Now it feels like a gamble. That $50 impulse buy, you get paranoid about spending it. You thought $10,000 would be lit, but it's not. You feel cautious. You feel distant from the version of yourself who spent without thinking. You check your balance too much. You second guess yourself constantly. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you start thinking, why does this feel heavier than hype? And that's when your brain starts playing tricks on you. And I'll show you exactly why it happens next. If that $10,000 milestone hit you differently than you expected, you're not alone. That's exactly what we're unpacking here. My name's Ricky, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money shapes how we live, think, and make choices. Seriously, I get lost in it sometimes. If you're someone trying to get ahead, save more, or just feel a little more in control of your money game, you're in the right spot. Around here, we talk about the real side of money, the stuff that actually messes with your brain, habits, and choices, not just the numbers. And hey, if this video helps you see money in a whole new way, hit subscribe and smash that like button. Trust me, it helps more people find content like this, and it keeps us diving into the stuff that actually matters. There's a moment most people don't talk about. It happens after you finally save your first real chunk of cash. Maybe it took months, maybe years. You cut back on lunches out, you canceled subscriptions, you said no to little treats, and slowly, that balance started growing. At first, it felt exciting. Every deposit felt like a win. Every paycheck felt like progress. But then you cross 10,000, and instead of relief, something else hits. You start sweating every purchase. That $20 coffee hits different now. That $50 impulse buy, you overthink it. You hesitate before hitting buy. You check your balance too much. Not panic, not fear, just quiet pressure following you all day. One surprise bill and the number tanks fast. You tell yourself, I worked too hard to lose this. So you delay decisions, hold off on stuff you actually need. And when you do spend, there's this low level guilt lingering. On the outside, people think you're doing great. You're lucky, they say. You're in a solid spot. But inside, it doesn't feel lucky. It feels heavy, fragile, like one wrong move and it could slip away. And here's the kicker. Before you had this money, you dreamed about reaching this point, thought life would be easier, lighter, chill, but nope. You feel aware of every move in a way you didn't before. You start asking yourself, what's really worth spending on? Which habits are quietly draining me? Some nights you lie in bed doing quiet math in your head. Rent, groceries, emergencies. One unexpected bill, and the number drops fast. And that thought sticks with you. What's going on here? Why does $10,000 feel like a trap sometimes? Most people never figure out how to get past this, but I'll show you how to flip the script. Here's what most people don't realize. The story we tell ourselves about money is almost always wrong. We grow up hearing, save more, earn more, spend less, and you'll be happy. And yeah, that works, or kinda. But when you finally hit 10K, something shifts. Suddenly the old rules don't feel enough. They feel stiff, limiting, and that's when frustration sneaks in. Most people think hitting 10K is the finish line, that crossing it is the ultimate win. But here's the twist. The number itself doesn't change your life. You don't magically feel safe. You don't make better decisions automatically. You're just different. And that's what trips people up. The first pattern break is realizing that money isn't a shield. It's not a magic safety net that erases stress. It's a mirror. It reflects your habits, your fears, your mindset. And the more money you have, the more your brain spots risk. It's like, wait, we got here, but what if we blow it? Look, here's an example. Imagine you saved 10K over a year. That's about $833 a month. You skipped lunches, canceled subscriptions, resisted impulse buys. Now you have the money. You might think, cool, I can relax. But the very habits that got you here kick in. You hesitate on spending, you second guess. That tension, not your money, just your brain catching up. And here's the thing. Your stress, second guessing, even that low level guilt, it's not broken. It's your brain leveling up. And understanding that is the first step to flipping 10K from a source of tension into a source of real freedom. Once you grasp this, the way you think about spending, saving, and investing shifts naturally. Suddenly, 10K isn't just a number, it's a tool, a benchmark, a chance to level up your money game. And there's one simple mindset tweak that makes the difference. I'll show you next. Here's the thing about money: most people only see it as numbers on a screen. Dollars, cents, balances. They think if they hit a certain number, life automatically changes. But money isn't just math, it's psychology. And that's where the shift after 10K really hits. Before 10K, your brain ran in scarcity mode, always on the next paycheck, bill, or emergency. Every dollar mattered, every expense triggered a tiny internal debate. Should I buy this? Can I afford that? Your attention was all about survival and basic comfort. Now hit 10K and your brain flips a little switch. You notice patterns, you see where money quietly slips away, you start spotting recurring small expenses, and suddenly your brain treats every move like it matters big time. That $50 dinner hits different. That $100 impulse buy. Now your brain freaks a little. Like, do I really want this? Here's a concrete example. Your balance sits at $10,500. You see a jacket for $150. Before, $150 might have felt, hey, I'll figure it out later. Now, $150 is 1.4% of your savings, and your brain's like, wait, what do I do with this? Could this be invested? Could it go to something better? Could it grow? And here's the kicker: that tension, it's a good thing. It shows your financial awareness is leveling up. You're learning to handle more, think ahead, and weigh trade-offs. It's not just spending, it's strategy. When you understand the math behind your balance, your decisions get sharper. 10K isn't just a number, it's a reference point, a benchmark, a tool for smarter choices. Think about a $1,000 emergency. Before 10K, it could feel catastrophic. After 10K, still stressful, sure, but manageable. You see it clearly, plan for it, and act without panic. That's the shift most people miss. And guess what? This is just the start. There's one mental shift most people overlook that makes all the difference. And we'll dive into that next. Now that we get the first shift, let's dig deeper into why nothing feels the same after 10K. The moment you hit this milestone, math and mindset start interacting in ways most people never see coming. Here's the thing, before 10K, your spending was mostly reactive. You bought based on need or impulse. You saved when you could. You worried when bills piled up. Hit 10K and you're suddenly in a new zone. Your brain calculates differently. You notice patterns you ignored before: small recurring expenses, impulse buys, tiny subscriptions. They all hit different now. Picture a $200 weekend trip. Before 10K, $200 might have felt out of reach or fun splurge. Now, $200 is a choice. It's part of your bigger picture. Do you want this? Or could that money work harder elsewhere? Here's the kicker: that tension, totally normal. Your brain is catching up to the reality of having more. It hits different. Every choice feels bigger. Every decision matters. Ever notice how $50 feels small at first, but now it hits different? That's cause and effect in action. Your awareness scales with your balance. And now a $100 impulse buy makes your brain freak a little. Like, do I really want this? Should I save it? Could it grow somewhere else? That's not stress breaking you. That's awareness leveling up. Now you might think, if I just save more, won't it get better? Sure, but only if your mindset grows too. Cause and effect hit harder. Every move now matters more than ever. Finally, remember, 10K doesn't just give you options, it hits different. Every choice feels bigger, every decision matters, and yeah, that tension is normal. And this is just part of the story. Next, we'll break down the mindset tweak that flips tension into freedom. Let's make this real. Imagine two people, Sam and Jordan, both hitting 10K in savings. Sam never tracked spending. Now every purchase makes his brain freak a little. A $20 coffee hits different. A $50 impulse buy, he overthinks it, big time. He hesitates before hitting buy. Checks his balance way too much. Not panic, not fear, just quiet, subtle pressure. Jordan, on the other hand, handles it differently. She sees 10K as a tool, a buffer, a chance to make smarter moves. She still notices the math, but instead of stress, She feels options. That $20 coffee, she decides, do I want this or should it grow somewhere else? Here's another scenario, a $500 car repair. Before 10K, it could feel catastrophic. Still stressful, sure, but now, totally manageable. She plans, thinks ahead, and acts without panic. And day to day, small things start hitting differently. Streaming services, meal deliveries, tiny subscriptions, they all add up. And your brain starts doing the math on everything. Ever notice how that $20 coffee suddenly feels heavy? Or how one tiny recurring payment stacks up without you realizing? 10K doesn't make life easier. It makes you notice, think, and decide differently. Choices that used to be easy, now your brain does the math and the feelings. And that's exactly why reaching 10K feels like a threshold. It's not about the number itself, it's about the awareness it creates. Here's something most people completely miss: 10K doesn't make life easier, it makes life clearer. Every little expense hits different now. Now, for real, subscriptions, impulse buys, tiny convenience purchases, they all start adding up in ways you didn't notice before. Do you catch yourself doing mental math on small purchases? Most people think they need more money to feel free. But the truth is, the mental shift matters more than the dollar shift. 10K reveals habits, it exposes patterns, and it forces decisions you never had to think about at 5K or 2K. Here's what's really surprising: you don't feel richer, you feel responsible, you feel cautious. That's why some people save and still feel stressed. The numbers go up, but the pressure grows too. And here's the next layer. This is where it gets really interesting. You start noticing trade offs everywhere. That $50 dinner, not just $50, it's an opportunity, a choice. Every purchase triggers a tiny internal debate. Is this worth it? Do I value this more than my future? It's uncomfortable. Hits heavy at first, for real, but it's necessary. Because without that discomfort, you never build the muscle to make intentional choices with bigger amounts. 10K isn't a finish line, it's a checkpoint where awareness meets action. So if you feel a little pressure after reaching this milestone, that's normal. That's actually a good sign. Your brain is catching up to your financial reality. And once you learn to navigate it, once you use it to your advantage, that's when 10K becomes a real tool. And next, we'll uncover the mindset tweak that turns tension into freedom. Here's the long term view: 10K is just the beginning. It's a milestone, not a destination. What matters isn't the number itself, it's what you do with it. Your habits? That's the real game. Small decisions compound. Daily choices sneak up on you over months and years. One extra $20 coffee a week, one forgotten subscription, one impulse buy. They all add up quietly, and suddenly, 10K doesn't feel like enough. But that's the point. Money teaches patience, money teaches awareness, money teaches strategy. The people who feel secure after 10K didn't get there by accident. They practiced long term thinking. They asked, what's the effect of this choice in 1 month, 6 months, 5 years? Think of it like planting a tree. You water it daily, remove weeds, watch it slowly grow. At first, it feels invisible, but eventually you notice real change. 10K is that sapling. Your actions? That's the care it needs. Habits now decide how big that tree grows. And here's a subtle but critical point: your mindset has to match your math. You can save 10K and still feel stressed, or you can save 10K and feel confident. The difference is understanding cause and effect. The difference is accepting responsibility without letting it paralyze you. Ever notice how one $20 coffee a week stacks up? Are you letting your habits run your money or running them yourself? And next, we'll break down the final tweak that makes awareness work in your favor. That's where 10K stops feeling heavy and what starts feeling like real freedom. Take a moment here. $10,000 isn't just a number, it's a threshold, a checkpoint. Before this, money mostly felt reactive. You earned, you spent, you recovered, you moved on. But once you reach 10K, everything feels different. A $20 coffee doesn't feel the same. A $50 subscription doesn't feel small. A $200 weekend trip suddenly feels like a real choice. It's not about restriction, it's about awareness. Your brain starts noticing patterns. Little habits show up clearly. The things you ignored before now carry weight, and that's what most people miss. Money doesn't magically make life easier, it makes things clearer. Every decision matters more. Every habit has impact, every trade off becomes visible. And here's the thing, those patterns, they aren't good or bad. They're information. They show you how you spend, why you spend, and where you can change. That awareness is power. It's not about perfection, it's about understanding. And once you understand, you can make choices on purpose. One coffee, one subscription, one impulse buy. Each small decision compounds slowly, quietly. Over time, they create momentum. 10,000 isn't a finish line. It's the point where your mindset has to match your money. Because if your habits don't grow, the number won't either. But when your mindset evolves with your savings, 10,000 turns from a milestone into direction, confidence, and clarity. It's subtle, it's quiet, it's almost invisible, but it's the real shift. Not the balance, not the number, the way you think about it and the way you let it guide your choices. And that's the point most people never reach. Not because they can't, because they never slow down to see it. Now, I want you to try something later today, not next week, not tomorrow. Open your banking app, scroll through your recent charges. Don't judge, don't feel bad. Just notice. Look at the small stuff, the subscription you forgot, the delivery order you didn't really need, the just a few dollars purchases that add up without thought. These are your little money leaks. And here's the key. You don't need to fix everything at once, just one thing. Ask yourself, what's one purchase I could redirect today? Not a full budget, not a strict plan, just one intentional choice. That's how 10,000 stops feeling heavy and starts feeling powerful. Because money isn't just numbers, it's decisions, it's habits, it's the direction your life is moving. Take control of one small choice, then another, and slowly your brain starts working for you, not against you. You notice patterns before they cost you. You feel confident instead of anxious. You start shaping your future step by step. And if you keep showing up, even in tiny ways, one day you'll look back and realize this wasn't about $10,000. It was about learning how to manage it, respect it, and grow with it. And if this video helped you see money a little differently, stick around because there's more ahead, more clarity, more control, more ways to level up your money game. Remember, it's not the number that matters, it's how you use it, one thoughtful choice at a time.